In the year 1936, a young British mathematician named Alan Turing published a landmark paper titled On Computable Numbers with an application to the Entscheidungsproblem. In this paper, Turing introduced his concept of a universal computing machine, now known as the Turing machine. This idea was so revolutionary that, according to John von Neumann, it gave birth to the central concept of the modern computer. In his paper, Turing also presented the halting problem, demonstrating that no Turing machine can decide correctly for all possible program and input pairs. This made Gödel's incompleteness theorem far more tangible and accessible. As Gregory Chaitin, a highly respected mathematician, stated in the 2007 BBC documentary Dangerous Knowledge, Turing makes Gödel's incompleteness very down-to-earth because he talks about machines. He talks about whether a machine will halt or not. You know, computers are physical devices. You start it running, and there are two possibilities if you start a program. One possibility is that it will come up with an answer and stop. The other possibility is that it is going to run forever and never finish the calculation, and you can never know beforehand which is which. And this is Turing's version of incompleteness. Turing gets incompleteness. Gödel's profound discovery, he gets it as a corollary of something more basic, which is uncomputability, things which no computer can calculate, and in certain domains most things cannot be calculated. Surprisingly, despite his revelations about the limitations of machines, Turing held a firm belief that humans were essentially machines. This philosophical conflict of Turing is beautifully encapsulated by Chaitin's statement from the BBC documentary Dangerous Knowledge. Chaitin stated, "Turing's personality is one thing. His mathematics doesn't have to be consistent with his personality. There is his work on artificial intelligence, where I think he believes that machines could become intelligent just like people, or better or different, but intelligent." But if you look at his first paper, when he points out that machines have limits because there are numbers, in fact, most numbers cannot be calculated by any machine, he is showing the power of the human mind to imagine things that escape what any machine could ever do. So that may go against his own philosophy. He may think of himself as a machine, but his very first paper is smashing machines. It's creating machines, and then it's pointing out their devastating limitations. In short, despite Turing's personal belief that humans were basically machines, Turing's landmark paper highlighted the power of the human mind to conceive of ideas beyond the grasp of any machine, contradicting Turing's own belief that he was a machine. Contrasting Turing's perspective, Gödel, the Austrian genius, was convinced that humans were not machines. He pointed to human intuition and/or spark of creativity as proof of the human mind's ability to transcend beyond the realm of any machine. As James Franklin, professor of mathematics, put the situation, the intellect is immaterial and immortal. If today's naturalists do not wish to agree with that, there is a challenge for them. Don't tell me, show me. Build an artificial intelligence system that imitates genuine mathematical insight. There seem to be no promising plans on the drawing board. As well, in his book, The Emperor's New Mind, Roger Penrose deployed Gödel's first incompleteness theorem to argue that, in general, the way mathematicians provide their unassailable demonstrations of the truth of certain mathematical assertions is fundamentally non-algorithmic and non-computational. In fact, Gödel and his close friend, Albert Einstein, were both firm believers in intuition, the ability of humans to know things outside of logic, a conviction born from their own experiences of moments of profound insight. Intriguingly, Turing's idea for computers came to him in a vision, a flash of insight, as described in the book Dawn, The Origins of Language and the Modern Human Mind. In the early summer of 1935, Alan Turing, among the rustling of leaves and the humming of bumblebees, was struck by a flash of insight. That afternoon, Turing unwittingly laid the foundation for something nobody could conceive of at that time: the computer. The irony lies in the fact that Turing, who considered himself a machine, was struck by a very human, intuitive flash of insight, a vision that led to the creation of the modern computer. This flash of insight is a testament to the human element that machines lack, despite Turing's beliefs to the contrary. In fact, besides computers, many of the most important discoveries in human history can be traced to these flashes of insight. For instance, Nikola Tesla discovered the basic operation of the alternating current motor after a vision appeared to him in Budapest's city park, where he quickly drew his mental images in the sand with a stick. Likewise, Einstein discovered special relativity via a flash of insight while riding on a bus. As Michio Kaku explained, in the spring of 1905, Einstein was riding on a bus and he looked back at the famous clock tower that dominates Bern, Switzerland, and then he imagined, what happens if that bus were racing near the speed of light? Einstein would later write, "A storm broke in my mind. All of the sudden, everything kept gushing forward." This flash of insight sparked the birth of Einstein's special theory of relativity. Thus, computers, alternating current motors, and even relativity itself, which are among the greatest discoveries ever in human history, can all be traced back to human intuition and/or to sudden flashes of insight, thus providing fairly stunning proof for Gödel's contention that humans have access to intuition and/or a spark of creativity that transcends what any machine is capable of doing. While the debate about the nature of human intelligence may continue, Turing's belief that humans are essentially machines is directly contradicted by his own flash of insight that he himself had that led to his greatest invention, namely the modern computer. Whereas Gödel's belief in human intuition, an intuition that transcends the limits of computation, is confirmed and is echoed in the experiences of countless individuals, from Einstein to Tesla, even to Turing himself. Thus, in conclusion, despite what Turing may have personally believed, humans are not machines. We are something more. Put simply and succinctly, we have an immaterial mind that no physical machine can ever imitate.